just so you know. It wasn't online, but it is now. It will be on, coming on, all right, Andy. So yeah, we'll have a chat with him, but just we'll not talk about that now. She's just gone on, so
okay.
We're in the public realm, I believe.
Yes, maybe I've had a notification to say so.
1 minute.
No, you've gone to mute now, brother. You're on mute.
I've got my mouse. I've got a wireless mouse moving this on my lap, and then I've got the TFT screen, and then I've got the laptop. So I've told my laptop I've got 2 monitors. The big screen is what the video is on to watch, and then the laptop's got the YouTube on it with any comments to anybody that clicks on. So what I've got, why I'm doing this, is just to test it out. Anybody that hasn't got a Google or YouTube email, you can make one up and then let us know the account details, the email address privately. Don't post it as a comment on this video. Send it to the email or in Facebook or ukfreedomproject@gmail.com, and then I'll compile a database of anybody that wants to join in, talk, or wants to just view. Then we'll get a list up and then start sending out emails on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday when we have the show. Or we'll put like a little playlist on the domain we could, Andy, and then just do like a little timetable of shows or whatever we've got free, and then let people, brothers and sisters, tell us what topics they want.
Standalone's got some to offer. He said he never gets notifications though when we're on. I don't know if you wish to tag him on or what just now, or how we would notify him that we're on.
He has to go on YouTube, and when you go on there, there's options on the channel for Indiglo, like there is for Stan, and then or Dodgy Doctors, and you just go on and say, I want to receive notifications from this channel, or there's options on there, so we can do that later.
He says he's not getting no notifications though from anybody, so I don't know why that would be.
Yeah, we'll have to give him a crash course in what to do. I think he just needs to check a box or tick something to say subscribe, or next to subscribe it says receive notifications.
Yeah.
And then you just need to click that. We'll find it.
Okay.
I've got given this at work. Before, this is why I'm doing this. I've got these here. This was given to Derby Council for advisory on religion and obviously cultures of sorts. And then this one was written by the guy that I was that's basically working for the agency that was working on my team that I was managing. He's printed this, and was it 2015? Arshad Rafiq is the author. He's given me his permission and consent to go through. This was given to children to teach them initially about what does that mean? To teach them about law and religion, natural stuff like that, you know. So a bit of a test, really. That's all. Nothing really to do as such. I'm just muting the sounds. Yeah. So if you want to say anything beforehand, you can say, get anything in you want to speak about.
Not offhand, Mike. There's a few things we covered, but nothing of any urgency or any importance. I feel right now. Do we have anybody wishing to join?
Do we have anybody wishing to join? Let's have a look. I'm just trying to mute my system sounds as well because I'm getting messages come through. So wait there. Let me check the screen.
Check the database. Check it. I'm sort of looking at in the cockpit there, mate, of the flying seat.
It's insane, yeah. What you can do, insane. Yeah. Sorry, Peter Andre. I don't know where that came from. It's insane. I'm not a fan of Peter Andre. So, how's it going, Greg? I'm on. Let me just tell Greg we're live on YouTube. There we go. That sorts him out. No, we got something from Ian. Let's have a look here at the comments and 1 minute, brother.
His birthday's tomorrow. Everything's okay. One of them just sent me a message. No, and I have to get up to my birthday and have a roll.
Yeah, I'm into SPLs on Facebook. I'll just check, see what the comments are. And I'll check the emails after. That's the 2 places to check.
Just so you know, it's all up and running smooth, eh?
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a test really, and then I want to read out this material that we've got from Archad. So here we go. No. Did you see that thing about the wireless money that the machine that they take that I posted up? The wireless contactless payment machine. They carry it around in the crowd, shopping centres.
Yeah, they do it on the tube and everything like that. It's been going on for quite some time, so that's why I've never had wireless cards or wireless this or that. There's ways of payment, so you to be careful not to carry your private effects up high, if anything, if you're out in a public space like that, you know, to try and defend yourselves. Other than that, wrap your wallet in your purses in silver foil and put one on your head.
Yeah. No, it's good. While we're on here though, and we're waiting, and I'm just checking notifications, email, and everything, and it's good just to fill the gap with a bit of knowledge for anybody that's watching back. Any of you. So, if anybody that's watching back that doesn't know about the scanners, if you're a lady that keeps your purse in your pockets around here, you know, or not your purse, your card, sorry, rather than keeping your card in your purse. Some of us have the option of the cover on the phone, and it has the card option in it, and then the phone is in the back pocket. I've seen on ladies carrying them around in the back pocket, men, brothers and sisters, with it, you know, your wallet in your back pocket or just round your waist, and anybody that just brushes past, they put 29, 25, 26, a random amount in up to the top amount, 30 quid, and then they just walk past and charge you so you don't even know you've been robbed. It's like, that's the worst. How dishonourable is that, eh?
Exactly. And say, for instance, you do 20 of them a day, you're up to like £600 a day in your fraudulent activity. It's quite a lot of currency, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can see why they're drawn towards it. So we're to protect ourselves, that's for sure.
I'm going to invite somebody. I've got an email. It's worked. We got one wanting to come in. Somebody called Albert. You think you might know him?
I might Al.
Long email this Albert. I can do it a different way. I can send him a link, but I did say send an email. So what's happening here? We've got him.
You've got slight feedback on the sound there, Dave. I don't know what's going on. It just comes in now and again.
Oh, it's because I've got the TV on too loud. It's the TV. Wait. God Lord. My office. Everything's in a place, and then it is. It's a trial for me as well, you know. I've got to get used to these controls and screens.
Absolutely.
You've got to make it seamless.
It's all easy for me, Brett. I press green on my phone and I'm with you. You know, you have to do all the work in the background. Top love and respect to you, mate.
Yeah, it's thanks to Sun and Moon, Karen Petit, it was, that showed me how to do this.
Thank you, sister.
Yeah, we got some guys online as well. We've got Tommy Rogers, Jesus Jones, Dr. Dawson. Link for Lado. Careful here. I'll get this. I've invited Albert, but now I've got a link I can copy. I like to do both ways, and then I'll send him that as well now. So I've got him on there. He's been sent an invite. And let me just give him a personal one on Facebook as well. So if it goes. Here we go. Okay. Oops. sent it somebody by mistake. What do you do here? You can't delete, can you? Oh, wait. That's all right.
Cut.
No, it's okay. It's all right. Just sorry, wrong brother. He's not going to jump in.
Retake.
Yeah, we might have an extra. Simon, let's just go here. Will you tell your mum? Speak to your mum. She's just come on break. Wow, we've got breakdown. Yanka need help. Right there.
We require maintenance and cure.
No, it's all right. What about Andy and Dave's show? Tell YouTube who we had on last night while we were filling the blanks and take the pressure off me. We had an interesting chat with somebody. Yeah? Oh, no.
Did you have the phone?
Headphones. Oh, Lord. Yeah, go on, Andy. This is just not planned. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, the pressures of a live show. We can always edit this out.
No, it's going to get deleted. Don't worry. It's well. No, it's not going to get deleted. It's
I was rewinding them, mate, back to the beginning. Sorry.
Alice is on a break. She wants to speak to us, but she
Okay.
can't. Sorting it out. Yanka's on hand.
Yes, Al.
Are you not sure how to escape this?
Is it on?
It's saying that it's connected, but I can't hear him. And I know that he hasn't got a camera, so let's see if he comes up.
Oh, we've got another one. Here we go. We get Simon. And, yeah, all right. Adding someone else.
I'm getting sound from Albert's microphone, but not actually from him. I think he's got some kids there. His microphone's on mute now. Maybe he's just trying to set himself up there at a second, Dave.
Yeah, that's all right. It's all good. That's what we're doing. Chill. Now I invite somebody else, Simon. That's all we'll say. There you go, Simon. I've sent him a link. The brothers are coming. We might be slow, but we get there.
We'll get there, mate.
Hello, my darling. Let's just go over to screen number 3. Hello, Sarah Clegg, Pussy. You can send your link. We're playing on the internet again, as always. That's all we ever do.
Yeah, my better half did mention it to me last night, the amount of time I am on my phone recently, because I'm normally very black and white. There's no grey matter. I get straight to the point on the phone after pressing green, and then when I press red straight away. And I don't really use it for the internet and such until you've brought me forth. So.
Oh dear.
I watched a movie last night. What was it called, Don? I watched Bruce Almighty last night.
Yeah, go on. I'm going to mute my mic a bit. Go on, yeah, just while others join. Go
on. It made me smile because most of the parts I was watching, I was referring to Dawn to call me Bruce. And
good game. Didn't they do well? Hey, Bruce, you ain't got the chip for it. Sorry.
And it didn't go down well.
The good news is that this bad boy works. I've got Serato DJ program on.
Beauty.
They've got another layer of Google Hangouts coming soon. I'm looking to how we can have me on one line with a HD Wi-Fi connection, and get another DJ and link us up, and then we can go back to back. It's country to country. We'll see what we can. It's all part of the plan. We're using the law testing here for linking up, and then we want to do stuff in recreational.
Absolutely, that'd be wicked.
Well, I got to do something with Albert. No, I haven't. Albert, I got webcam but not hooked up and need new headphones. It's packed up. Can you guys? I can hear you guys? I muted myself, so he's got a webcam and it's not hooked up, and he needs new headphones, but he can hear us, and he's muted himself, so that's all right then. Let me just say, I'll give him a message. I've invited somebody else as well, Simon. I don't know where he is.
Yeah.
I'll just try one more time and then we'll get on. We'll just check the message in. And then hook back on with it. Get his email again. I need to get a microphone, one that's USB, so it stands on the desk, because when I type on the keyboard, the microphone's built into the keyboard, so you hear all the clunking, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
So, no, we won't talk about who came onto the Andy and Dave show. You didn't say, did you, actually? So,
because it was no good me trying to explain when it was all manic in the background. You wouldn't get the same attention, would you? So I just got hung fire a moment.
Did you receive? I'll chat about it later. Right, Simon, get in. Invite again. So Albert's there. We'll wait and see if Lado joins up. John Middleton, my religious beliefs and cultures. I feel like a fat fairy dust sprinkled on the head. Why do you feel like that? Tommy Rogers, yo, harsh truth for engineer, half truth for engineer, and Tommy Rogers, what's up for Bronsky? Bronsky B, hey up. Harsh truth, how's it going, pal? Saying hello, Kevin Flynn. Religious beliefs and cultures, this should be good. Wow, yeah, it's interactive, you guys. You could have emailed ukfreedomproject@gmail.com if you want to get on with us and have a chat. It's fully interactive. We'll read out your comments, we'll take your questions, and I want to present some literature which has been given to me when I was last in servitude by a guy that was working on the agency. That when I was at work, I used to go around and talk to everybody. I wasn't sat in an office hiding away, even though I had an office. I wasn't, contracted to do manual labour. I went around and got to know everyone's name, where they were from, what religion, they had. I wasn't too probing. It wasn't like, hello, I'm David, and I've got the over a period of months. The ones that wanted to talk and chat, when they're bored doing a routine, mundane job, I'd go and talk to them. And if we wanted to talk about religion, life, science, everything like that, Nikola Tesla, their country's politics, money. And this guy says, I've done some stuff for the council. I went, what have you done? I've written some literature and I've advised them on religion, law, sciences, not our law, the law of, God's law, the creator's law, natural law. And they said he'd bring me some papers in that were submitted to Derby Council for them to help write and manage policy, legislation, stuff like that with regards to religion, and to understand, for them to actually understand the religion as well. The guys that are coming into the public area to ask for help at the council, at the main council building, then obviously they've got to know what cultures, and you might end up offending somebody by doing a hand gesture, which in their country, or saying something wrong by the wrong pronunciation.
Because we're not of their society.
Yeah, so the council need to be respectful, because they're dealing with service users, and if they don't understand the service users' culture requirements, as we are a mixed demographic now, we've got an influx of a massive influx of migration. Sorry.
So I've just.
Sorry, David, he's talking to me. Do apologise.
Hello, John. You're live on the interweb again. Pleased to have you on.
Sorry about that.
It reminds me of the Tom and Jerry cartoons where you'd see the Tom's mum, and you'd only ever see like the bottom half of her legs and that. You never see like the full leg. The wrong place is like the voice of the Andy and Dave show.
Anyway.
Oh, wait. There was one, was it the fashion? I'm sorry to be programmable and that, but it is kind of fitting and it might make you laugh. There was a scene on the fashion, I believe it was, where there was a toy shop that sold just board games. There was a man downstairs, and every time a customer was to come into the shop, he'd shout up the stairs, Margaret, Margaret, have we got that 1970? You don't know it, you've not seen it. I bet you.
I love it. Brilliant, mate.
You'd never see her, would you? You'd never see the woman though.
No, very good.
So can we change Dawn's name by default to Margaret?
Absolutely. She's my property. I'll call her what I wish.
No, yeah, not even by default. You can just do it by common law tongue, can't you?
Absolutely. Depending on what person I am, if I'm a happy or a mad person.
Albert says he's installing Hangouts on the phone.
Excellent.
So he won't be long. I've invited Simon. Let's go. Well, I don't think this is a good idea. Maybe go in the front room with us because we'll be able to hear and it'll get confusing.
Yeah, definitely. We can definitely hear them over what's it there, Dave.
Yeah, I know. I'm just aware. I'm just saying
Yeah,
that.
Definitely need little offices. I have got a little wooden area down the garden there that I built myself, flipped from pallet. I got a front door out of a skip, and I've made the whole thing is out of pallets and a door from a skip. So I might convert it into my little SPL Pro office and get myself
studio
in there. Yeah. I don't know if you can see. I can reverse my camera on this at all. Can I reverse my camera? Let's have a little look here, see if I can't show you. Do I have to be talking while it comes on?
No, you just press. There'll be an icon for you to press camera with an arrow around it or something.
Yeah,
there you go. Done it. That was it. I'll shut up.
Yeah, that little white front door there that come out of the skip. And hi, Brother Albert.
Hello. Trying to just suss this out a minute.
It's all right. That's what we're doing. Don't worry. YouTube's having a laugh at us. It's all
the whole thing's a trial out, and bless you for trying with us.
Say that again, mate.
We're able to crack legal complex, situations and that. We're trying to get 4 brothers on a Google Hangouts. Might take some time. Civil issues.
Used to everything.
I know, brother. It's all right. That's why I said to do it. Bank holiday Monday. It's in the afternoon. We've done all jobs. So we'll have a little play. And
the bank have given us a holiday on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah. Depriving us.
Somebody called Simon has said via Facebook, give me a message and an email. I've done it twice. So Simon, I don't know where you are. He's probably got some issue then going on. He's not messaged me, so we'll carry on once Albert's ready and settled down. He's just sent me a photo.
Yeah, we soon ran out of time the other day there, didn't we, Al, regarding your issues that you're having at the moment. But we'll better catch up privately now that you got this thing on your phone, mate, and we'll see what's what.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
We don't have to broadcast live to Tube. You can have the hangout and then see you later. Ciao, Sarah Clegg.
May we? Bonjour.
Get instructions from the settler. Wait there. Yes, he's going to do a homework. We won't be long. All right then, YouTube, we're back. So what do you want to discuss or say? What's your input then, Albert? Have you got any areas or experience, anything you'd like to say that you've seen, anything that's been in the news, any opinions of your own, or
Not really.
No.
In general.
Wow.
Yeah.
I set him up good time for that, and he's no come back with nothing.
Yeah.
How did I know you were going to say that?
I just got my own agendas, mate, and I just look outside and.
Well, if you wish to speak of your own agenda, you can, brother. If you don't wish to speak of your agenda, then you don't have to. You know.
Well, mine is just raising up myself. I'm fed up with like working, busting my arse and paying this tax, that tax, and whatever, you know. Now,
Okay.
even with the council, like sewage waste and all that, it's just one thing after another, you know.
Okay. So
So
you've decided to take a stand as man and start to
yeah,
try and
yeah,
push back a
and
piece.
even with the council tax, but they're not obviously going away. Like, you know, I've got another bill now, and I
Hmm.
think in my head, hold on a minute, I ain't paid this for 4 years. Why the fuck are you sending me another invoice? Do
Well,
you know what I mean?
until we're in the correct capacity and allow your title holders, they're not going to go away. They're going to keep pestering you until you can stand there as king.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But
So,
getting that process right, like, you know, because I've like seen a lot of things. Even Dave Witchery's put another. Well, someone shared another one of his videos, and they're offering to do the whole trust setup. Or it looks like a trust they're setting up in the paperwork and all that kind of thing for like 50 quid, and then you take it along. And I think you got to do further stuff, but you know, I don't know whether that's the right route, like because you know you're
well,
denouncing
what is the
everything.
right route? We all have a route of our own. Is what it's our own due diligence. Will bring the route and path that you take. And
Yeah,
if you're not fully informed and you're not fully disclosed to, whether it be upon yourself or by others, then you may be down the wrong path, like
yeah,
you're
yeah,
describing. But
yeah,
however, if you have done your due diligence and you have checked every avenue, then the heart shall lead you down the right road, surely.
yeah, yeah. Well, but for me, like I'm just yeah, I'm just listening and watching, and even like UCC and whatever, because for me, I wanted to start doing all accepted for value and stuff like that. And you know, Andy, I've quizzed like HSBC or whatever and stuff like about having a bank account that accepts it all and stuff like that. So, and they kind of dismissed the conversations. Yeah.
On Saturday, we did say the seminar, we'll put some text on the board, didn't I, at a 45-degree angle that said about identifying with the exemption number, account exemption number, with
Yeah.
the national insurance
Yeah,
number.
but
We've
then
got,
some of it applies to the UCC, and then that's kind of operated in the 50 states of
well,
America.
Well, we need to be careful here because we're talking about religious beliefs and cultures and stuff like that and spirituality, but we can have another hangout where we'll talk about, if you look in SPLs on Facebook, I've done a post about
Oh,
what
right. Yeah.
other hangouts would be of interest and what
Yeah.
topics. So,
Yeah.
A to B,
Yeah, that's where I got the email address from.
yeah,
But
if you're
because
saying,
I put in the trust one.
ah, brilliant. Yeah, yeah, because
Yeah.
we'll have a hangout and we'll do that and we'll invite it and put it open to our brothers and sisters, worldwide, but
Open to that. Yeah.
nationwide,
Right.
worldwide. But you're saying UCC for A for V. I know it's not religious or political, but if you are the settlor and you are acting in England, in the United Kingdom, in regards to the trust that you're being settlor, which would be then, in equity and trust realm as the man, in
Yeah.
the private, then you wouldn't necessarily be using UCC because Unified Commercial Codes in the world are exactly that. They're public, not really private, and it's to govern commerce internationally all over. Like when you place an order on eBay in England from China and it gets to you, it will incorporate UCC. When you A to
Right.
B something and you use your national insurance number, I wouldn't necessarily imagine. I've never done it successfully, but my learning curve at the minute,
Yeah.
I'm 80% there. It doesn't suggest anything to do with UCC. So this
Right.
is why we will set these hangouts up and we will take constructive criticism from any. We'll put our beliefs across, and then
Yeah.
we will take argumentation, examination. We'll extract it, and compare and contrast it with regards to America. That's America. Italy is Italy. Greece is Greece, and the United Kingdom operates as the United Kingdom. So we all have international guidelines for public, but for private ones, it's all different constitutions and stuff and rulings and
Yeah.
guidelines, which ties us back into belief systems again. If you believe you need to use your sweat equity, stuff like that, go out and labour for £8 an hour. If you believe an hour of your life or every hour of your life is only valued at £8, £9 an hour, and that's your belief system. How you sell yourself, and this is what we'd like to talk about. The anything how your opinion or Andy's opinion on some of these. What I don't know if you caught this, but when I was at work at the former place that shall not be mentioned, one of the guys on the agency, he chatted to me. He was a Muslim guy. He believes in the Islamic faith, and I was talking to him about what's going on in the news, certain things like that. And he said he wrote this for. It's got at the bottom here. I've got a nice camera now, so it says that's what it was written for, Derby City Council. It was just a proposal on the religious beliefs and cultures that the council staff will, come across in their day-to-day interaction with the general public.
Yeah.
And then the guy's called Arshad Rafiq. He's also done this for children when their property, the offspring, just to go through some simple things about Islam, which seems to be quite a hot topic at the minute, because certain issues with regards to there's some groups now that are in England other than the usual far right groups. There are some Britain's First is one that I've heard about, as well as the usual football gangs and certain other. I'm not saying all football gangs, but certain football groups are in far right movements as well. I'm not going to say any names. I'm just aware of how the movements work and how they get lively young men to partake in certain protests of which they're not fully informed about or knowledgeable of, but because there's a lot of them and they drink beer and they'll go out on the street, that's good enough, they can come along. But I think we're in danger of hurting a lot of brothers and sisters through ignorance. So when we organise the actual main chat after this test, next week, what we'll do is have a more in-depth debate about politics, religion, and how it ties in, like, I don't know, and how I am a spiritual guy, so I don't have a god or an idol or anything like that. I believe that you are gods and I am God, so I have a different, it's like the Buddhist Zen-like way of looking at it. I'd like to know how you two look at life, what your personal, if you don't mind sharing it, your personal belief system on, like I promoted the law of attraction, the power of intent, the yin and the yang, inwardly projecting what you want to outwardly attract. And then obviously I mentioned the master brain, who my mentors are, the science and technology of which I've looked at to get to this decision, and the rice water experiment with Dr. Whatever I come out with and whatever I believe, I'll show you where I've got and source my information, research, and it will help you understand the invisible laws of which exist that don't actually get written about or you don't get taught about. But once you know they're there and you know how to use them, it's like an invisible system of help that you can get. That it was called God, it was called prayer, it is still called that for some religious, cultures and continents and churches. But there's other stuff in the world, in life, that we can use that seems to work, and I'd like to get feedback on that. But that's to do with spirituality. It's not a religion, but it's kind of like the Jedi Force, actually, what I kind of use, which is why we say we are like the red-eyed Jedi or the grey Jedi, and we like to battle with the Sith overlords, which would be the Crown. So I'll shut up and let you two speak. Go off and tell me how you see things, how you manage stuff, if you pray, and just your belief system, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, as in different cultures and stuff like that. Yeah. I haven't got any.
How have your values on your moral value and your systems on code, ethics, how you manage it, how you see religion or spirituality? I'd be interested to hear.
I don't know. Personally, I don't look to it. Like, I know, like the Vatican and all that, and Pope and whatever, but I've only ever been to church, I think, like 3-4 times in my life. So I just don't. Even when people are going on about Islam and all this kind of thing, I just think each to their own. You know what I mean? As long as you're not.
Are you a good guy or are you a bad guy?
Sorry?
Here's the question then. Are you a good man or are you a bad man?
Well, I don't know. I'm good. I would say I'm good. Yeah. I hope I'm not going to hell.
Yeah. You have got a belief
Man, go to
system,
hell,
Albert.
you, mate.
Listen, as a sovereign, because you're in sovereign paralegals, as a sovereign, I will know. I've interacted and chatted with you. You come down to the seminar. You seem to have a good self-governing system, a good moral code system, a good value system, a good ethic-based system. So you have got a system of which you're operating on. Then you're saying that you're not tied to a religion and you don't think you're spiritual. But you're not going out causing harm, injury, loss, fraudulent dealings. You're operating in honour. You're operating, in equity as sort.
Yeah.
So you already are, you may not cognise this, but you already are operating with some kind of a moral fibre, code, structure, ethics, ethos, value system, honour,
Yeah.
vigilance. So
But
that's what I'm
what I
trying
will
to
and
get at.
won't do and all that, like,
Your conduct, you are responsible.
yeah.
Your acts, you're responsible for your acts. Your word is your bond. Your conduct. So as you're one of in the brotherhood of the trust that we've got on Facebook in the domain, then you don't need to be knighted to be a nobleman. It's like this spirituality or way of life that I'm seeing is like, the noble way, to be noblemen again, to the return of the nobleman, but without being knighted with a sword from the Queen on either side. You can be noble by your conduct and your belief system, surely.
Yeah. But I think it's kind of, would it be like ethos or whatever? What you put out, you get back. So if you put out attitude, you're going to get attitude back, ain't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so if you give someone a chance then it's up to them to fuck it up, isn't it? That's my thing anyway. Like, I just treat people how I like to be treated myself. So
do unto others as they do unto you is
exactly,
the code there written in the scriptures. That's fair enough.
So, because I don't understand, like, because I know there's a lot of people up at Speaker's Corner, because I watched a few videos on that, and they've all got their own agendas and stuff like that, and there is a few clashes and stuff like that go on, but there will be, because everyone's got their own opinion, and being Speaker's Corner, there's, everyone's voicing their opinions and such. So, if you don't like what others are saying, then I won't go there, So, I think everyone's entitled to their own speech or their own views or morals, and if they want to wear or do whatever they like, then as long as it's not affecting us.
Some feedback coming back from your end there, Dave. I don't know what that is.
No, headphones. Let me try this then. So we've got the young one next to me. It must be something coming from this one. Feedback from the.
I'm thinking, does it automatically mute or?
Yeah, I can't hear you at all now, Dave. You're on mute now. Yeah, turn it up a piece.
No. I'm not with you.
It's killed the feedback, but it's killed everything as well.
Dabba dabba ding dong. We're on, boys.
Yeah, you're on, but the feedback's there again.
Albert, just try muting your mic a minute, Albert.
I think mine is.
No, you've got to mute it. We'll tell you. It has it. Good, keep it there. Is it still there, Andy?
Yeah, like I say, it's periodic. It phases in and phases out. It's better now that you've plugged your earphones in, to be honest.
No, now Albert's mic's muted. Is that better?
Yes.
No?
It's the same. It is the same, but it was fading in and out, mate. It is better since them headphones plugged in now.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's killed the interference that we was having. Switch yourself back on now.
I'll watch the playback and then see. That's good then to know. So
Back on, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Everything. Yeah, that's killed it. That has, Dave. It must be because your computers are close to each other or whatever,
Charge from this one. Right, let's do this. So And in fact, Andy, it's your turn to, if you want to say then, same as what Albert did, your, I don't know, moral fibre code, or the questions that he's just answered, or whichever you see it as.
I don't believe in all that.
Yeah, then let's go. That was fun. Thanks for joining, boys. Let's go then. Job's done.
Right, lad. I don't believe in all that. Each to their own. Thanks for having me.
I'll get me code.
Excuse me. Like Al just said, he just doesn't want to go to hell. As above is below. I don't believe you're going to go anywhere. It's all here in the now.
Maybe they're living on hell.
Yeah, hell is within, heaven is within, religion is within. All your things are all within, whatever you wish them to be. If they're separate over there, then you're forever searching, aren't you? You're not complete, you're not whole. So all the things we require are all within. Whether you call that religion, whether you call it spiritual, whether you call it a belief, or what you wish to call it is, as long as you do what's righteous and it's only with good intent, then I think you can call it what you wish. Just to be godly or goodly or spiritual or religious or whatever you wish to call it, as long as it's with good intent.
Honourable, noble, yes.
Absolutely. Do no wrong, do no fraud, do nothing that would cause duress or harm or alarm, and surely we can live as one, regardless of colour, race, religion, gender, sexuality, or what your preferences are.
Well, yeah, you would think so, but there seems you have a typical street in England. There might be a Polish living next door to an Arab from Saudi living next door to a Muslim from somewhere, in the Iraq or out that way, or next to a Jew, next to an Englishman, next to an Irishman, next to a Scottishman, and everybody has cultures. So you have a belief system, you have religion, you have cultures, and we can respect that. But when there is a lack of understanding and confusing about the cultures, then what happens when people don't know about a topic? They make wrongly. They make wrong decisions that aren't fully informed. So then you have fear, you have misunderstanding, you have
the misinformed through the lamestream media and whatnot, the narratives and prerogatives that they're pushing through as well. People are a belief system to that.
Yeah, and when I was little, yeah, you're right. And when I was little and I was first introduced to the church, and it was Christmas time, and they had the Passover or something, and all the family was there, and it was compulsory to go back in the 80s, mid 80s, early 80s. It was a done thing. Everybody going out and showing their face in the community as it was, and eating the body of Christ and drinking the blood of Christ. I sat straight. I went, what? What are we doing? Who? Where? Whose blood? What body? Well, nobody does that. I don't want to do that, Mum. I'm all right, mate. And then I realised as I got older, it wasn't blood and it wasn't the body of Christ. But as a child, I was like, well, the only people that drink blood are vampires. I've just watched Lost Boys, a couple of weeks ago. I know who drinks blood. And I was very confused. And as an adult, I still am. Why you would eat the body of Christ and drink the blood of Christ for an honorary procedure, because nobody ever does that ever. It still haunts me today. That I'm not saying you shouldn't practice it or whatever. I'm just saying I have trouble cognizing why you would still do that in modern day and why it was done in the first place.
Old time rituals.
Yeah, satanic, isn't it? All that.
Not humans. Yeah.
So it's a representative of him. So it's each their own belief system again, isn't it? And their own understanding, their own cognition, their own indoctrination they've received from their elders and their peers and their society. Like I say, it just depends which one that you're of.
It's just unsettling for young children, that's all, and being in a church like that and seeing that for the first time, or it's just. Then you're asking questions in the church, and they're like, "Shut up!" And you're like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And being baptized, that was always when I'd seen the Jehovah's Witnesses, and they went to the, there was a bit of time in the family where, due to circumstances, there was we were taken along with some family members to go down and see if these guys had the answers to all of life's problems. And somebody was being baptized there, and they had a big swimming pool. in the whatever it's called, Jehovah's Witnesses, and I saw how they did. That was all confusing. I'm like, why does what does water do? And cleansing and the process. It's baptizing into the waters. Yeah, it's I don't know, Admiralty Maritime, all this kind of business again into the waters and sea commerce and.
And ultimately paying for the privilege.
Yeah.
I was looking up my namesake earlier, the Matthews clan, and on there it was saying like Matthews derived in, I'm not sure what it was because I read it briefly earlier and it said gift of Jehovah is Matthew.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
think,
it's
really?
a biblical name, you see, so it's interpreted, it's being interpreted, you know, Matthew, there's a book, isn't there, in the Bible named Matthew, and obviously
yeah, but to come to gift of Jehovah, I thought, really? You know?
It's just, yeah, you take it with a pinch of salt, don't you?
That's their own interpretation of it, yeah. You know, that's their version of his story. If you believe his story, then good on you. God loves a believer, so each believes of their own.
Yeah. Well, geography and history and all that weren't one of my favourite subjects in school. So all this lot now I'm doing is like totally all new, you know.
We're never too late to learn.
True. Yeah.
So, wow, how many pages? I don't know. How we're gonna? I just want to go through some of this then and go through what this equalities in action, religious beliefs and cultures is. Someone's vibrating. We all right?
It's my good lady. She's on the hotline.
What with feedback. So here's a bit of history about it. I don't know why it's in Buddhism. Seems to be first. I haven't put it that way. And there's about 5: Buddhism, Rastafarianism, Rastafarianism, Christianity, a few like. So I'll start off and just shout up if you want to say something or there's something that interests you. All right, lads. On the comments on Tube we've got so far to get up to date. Jesus Jones, anyone seen the latest Jumanji? No, that's nothing. You couldn't make it up. Right, I'll not read out then. That was my fault. Having flashbacks. In other words, would you press the button when a man in a white coat is telling you to press it even though it's causing harm to someone? If Tony Blair, yes. John Middleton, look up woman who won't go back with men after having sex with ghosts. Oh, so that's to do with spiritualism. That's at least a look up woman who won't go back with men after having sex. That's not a poltergeist, I would imagine, or something. I don't know. Tells baby says hi. John Middleton, we're all on magic carpet. Baron Bronskovic. Yeah. My religious belief bears no relevance on others to the shape of what we're standing on. Faiths and cultures point to the same thing, so I stick to what's objective and respect however anyone's woken up. What's that? Nala, hello. Children are foreseeing, not listening to Jesus Jones. So are you talking about Jesus returning? No one else, not even the popes, know when he's returning. No, Jesus is not going to save us. Jesus won't be returning to save mankind from self-destruction or annihilation or whatever it is we're doing. I don't believe that. I believe that we've got to help ourselves, much like the barons. The barons aren't coming to help anybody soon either, are they, boys?
You better believe it.
It's on us. It's what we half truth engineer. So at Indiglow, how's it going, pal? Respect response to everybody, brother. We've caught up there. There's nothing on Facebook. They can come on this way, or they'll make an account and join us. So Buddhism was founded approximately 2,500 years ago by Prince Siddhartha Gautama in northeast India. According to tradition, the prince decided to abandon his privileged life to search for the meaning of suffering in the forest. In the forest, he experienced enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, which is now a sacred symbol of Buddhism. After experiencing the enlightenment, he returned to the city and became known as Buddha, or Buddha, as they say in Europe, the awakened one. Buddha created Sangha, which was the community of monks and nuns to teach Dharma. or Dharma, Buddha's teachings on the way to achieve enlightenment. Buddhists do not explicitly state a belief in God, nor do they deny belief. Buddhists believe in Buddha's teachings, which are embodied in the Four Noble Truths. Noble. Right, yeah. These state that human life is full of suffering. People create suffering because they are attached to desire or selfishness. If selfishness and desire are destroyed, suffering will cease. So I'd say money there, money's tied in with that bit. But the Eightfold Path is a guide which will lead to an end of suffering. And you ask, what is the Eightfold Path, David? It's here. The Eightfold Path is a way of life which Buddhists see as the way to overcome suffering. It is sometimes symbolized as an eight-spoked wheel called the Dharma Chakra or the Wheel of Truth. It's true, I'm not making it up. Here is a summary of this path. Number 1, right views. To have a positive mind, to think of the good things in you and others. Right thoughts. Some people, though, without right views, they try and see the good in everybody, and some don't have any good, and then you try and see the good and they take advantage. So there is, you have to be careful with that one, I'm finding out. Right views, number 2. To care for others whilst being sympathetic and understanding. Right speech. Number 3, not to tell lies or to say hurtful or stupid things. 4, right action, not to kill or cause injury or steal. Number 5, right livelihood, to make sure that a job does not cheat anyone or cause harm. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? This is why when I was looking at law and the other such, I was like, hey up. Number 6, right effort, to work hard to follow the Eightfold Path. Number 7, right mindfulness, to be aware of thoughts and actions. And number 8 is right concentration. This is the peaceful state of mind that somebody should gain if they have followed the Noble Eightfold Path. Losing the fear, as we call it in the group. You see?
Absolutely. So, it's I like the way that they live their lives, because to be central is not to expect too high, and then you won't fall too far, and that way you don't put so much expectation on yourselves and those around you either, and so you don't become so bitter and twisted and spiteful, and or your ego stuck a lump or whatever, because things haven't quite turned out to plan, you know. So I do like, to let go of those sorts of things, and ego and materialism and commercialization, all those sorts of things that comes into it. And that as me and you know, if you look in the dictionary, to suffer is to allow. So if you try and predict your future and it's above your own personal benchmark, then you're going to suffer, because you're not ever going to reach there. If you've had a not such a good ride in the past, you've got a bit of a previous history that's not been so good, and you have constant reminders of it and whatnot, you're going to suffer, because you have these thought trains. So we can both suffer from the future and the past, and that's why it's so important to be centralized and try and keep ourselves in the now. So if the past does come to speak to you, you can deal with it appropriately. It doesn't have to be so negative. You can look at it in a different manner and use it as a lesson, rather than to put you down in such a way that you think there's no end to the misery. And to keep on thinking that way is to suffer, and you're allowing yourself to do that. And I think that's their mindset to keep you away from that, and I do like it.
Realistic, practical, attainment can be reached if you realise, you do have to stretch yourself, but not beyond. You need reasonable limits, don't you?
Absolutely. So, and such as the lamestream media and the publications of girls' magazines and all these things today, they wish for us to aspire far beyond our natural limit, and when we're not reaching those aspirations, we're having all sorts of desperations and depressions and all sorts of negative and knock-on effects that the system wishes and requires, because it earns money through depression, pharmaceutical drugs and stuff like this, you know. and it just causes you dis-ease and discontent and these sorts of things. So that's why I try and stay in the middle as well. Try not to suffer from the past nor the future. We can help
Right.
create our future, but we can't predict it. So there's no point too much worrying about it.
Well, Andy said suffer is to allow. You may be getting confused there or scratching your heads or looking up. You'll find the legal terminology from Black's Law in various editions of the book that stipulate this is the legalese. When you're in the court, they will use not Anglo-English, so they don't use the Oxford Concise Dictionary or the Styles manuals of, style, grammar, classification and all of that. You know what they do. You know your view of the channel. So you go to the Oxford Concise English dictionaries and look up suffer, then compare that meaning and implied definition to the legal side of it, and you will find out, correlate those two. And if you then think you are replying in court or through legal communications private to suffer, and you put down, yeah, you suffered at the hands of the officer, whatever, you have then said that you consented, you allowed it, so therefore you've no case to answer in the trip. So this is why you don't.
If you're ever asked if you suffered, your answer is no. I've been done a wrong. I didn't suffer because I didn't allow it. I've been done a wrong. Simple as that.
So that was the eight, for the peaceful mind and the eightfold, the noble eightfold path. The holy book that the Buddhists have is the Pali Canon. The Pali Canon, and it's only one of the Buddhist sacred books and is written in Sanskrit, Tibetan, and Chinese. However, the Pali Canon is also an important law or rule for all other Buddhist traditions. The worship buildings designated for worship are various and reflect the different traditions between groups of Buddhists. A shrine may be in the home or in the temple. Good Lord, Yanka, you one-way destruct mission. Wow, cannot see what's going on here. Buildings designated, Meditation is directed towards a statue or image of Buddha in the shrine. People also take offerings of flowers, fruit, incense, and water to the shrine. It is respectful to remove your shoes when visiting a Buddhist shrine. Lifestyles of different Buddhist individuals vary. Some Buddhists live monastic lives, while others have families. So some live in a monastery, some have, practicing general, normal family life, and you can still be practicing Buddhist. Food. Many Buddhists are vegetarian due to the need to avoid intentional killing. Some may eat fish or eggs and avoid what they would call higher forms of life. Chinese Buddhists avoid blood and onions, which are thought to affect meditation adversely. Dress. There is no particular dress worn by Buddhists. Holy days and festivals. Festivals tend to focus on the life of Buddha and are commemorated by meditation. There's a Wesak Buddha Day, May, June, full moon. There's a Uposatha days. Any new or full moon days are held sacred. At times, people take offerings to monasteries and shrines, paying their respects to Buddha. What's going on now? Who's that? Can you hear that? Oh no. I'm ringing from somewhere. Was that one of you? Boys? Hello?
Yeah, I'm on mute, mate. We're listening to you, so you got no interference. So I don't know what you was hearing there. We're both on mute.
I was on mute as well, so.
All right, it's all right. I've got ringing in my ears, literally, so I don't know.
You've causing it to yourself. Self-inflicted, brother.
Tinnitus. Could be Facebook. Wait, no, it'll be on this one. This is what happens. Simon Dawson is calling. Sorry, brother. Let me just tell him. He knows what. Wow. It's what happens when you're on face. This is what technology can be so great. It can be such a nightmare. You need to protect like flight mode. You see, Andy. What we have to do to lock it down. Sorry, right. I'll carry on. Yeah, sang your day.
Maybe when dancers, they can do tap dancing, and then dancers can do ballerina and just really twinkle toes. Maybe you could adopt that approach on your keyboard, brother.
No, getting a USB mic. I'm going to carry on being a hammer and
slap away. A little bit more finesse there, please, bro.
All right. So, yeah, I could be a bit more angelic.
So, can I just say that I get a lot of my belief systems and a lot of my thought trains and a lot of his thoughts resonate with my thoughts, and His name is Sadhguru, and that's Sadhguru. So if you wish to cognise any of the stuff that I resonate and cognise with, you look on there, look at that man there, and you'll see much of his belief system is much of mine. He's taught me a great deal, and he words himself a whole lot better than I do as just an idiot layman.
Nice one, yeah, to get that written down. Anybody? Well, I'll have a look at that later as well once we've done this. And yeah, cheers, Andy.
Boom. Have a little.
Sangha Day, November, a global celebration for the Buddhist community. And the last bit one is Dharma Day, July full moon. This is a celebration of the teachings of Buddha and the wheel of knowledge, which symbolises the eightfold path described on page 4. So there's a lot of orientation around the moon there, if you notice, with that. It's not much about, the stars, or it was quite a lot around the moons, the lunar cycle. It's not very helio. Yeah, it's just the full moon, moon days. Very interesting. So I just wanted to share it. Then it's got Christianity, which most should be aware of then. Christianity was founded approximately 2,000 years ago by followers of Jesus of Nazareth. Whose mic's on there scratching around? Andy,
sorry, brother. It's me giving it some of that. I'm sorry.
Tin pie scratches. It sounded like sandpaper coming through Mike.
Sorry, lad.
Who are Christians? Christians live according to the loving nature of God, revealed by the life and death of Jesus. Most Christians believe in God as a trinity of persons, the Father, Jesus Christ, the Son, the Holy Spirit. All have equal divine status. Jesus is believed to be the Son of God, born to the Virgin Mary. Mary is particularly important to Roman Catholics and Eastern Orthodox churches as the Mother of God. They have a holy book. The Christian holy book is the Bible. It consists of the Old and the New Testament. The Old Testament contains writings, poems and songs that speak of God as the ruler of the universe. The New Testament has writings about Jesus, including books that describe his life and how the religion developed. The final book of Revelation vividly describes the end of time. The end of time. Those with eyes to see and ears to hear will not be deceived. That doesn't say that there, but we mentioned that in a few talks, don't we, in the videos?
The deceived shall be deceived.
There are other editions of the Bible and revisions, and King James and Dead Sea Scrolls and other such, Enki. Your mic's really scratching under my ears, brother.
Let me turn myself off, mate, while we're sorry.
I don't normally. It's just today. It's something like, I don't know, with that feedback coming from me. There's something weird with the sound. So there are other things you can look at with regards to your research on the Christianity, and look at the Sumerian tablets, the Egyptian, look through the history and the ages with regards to going pre-2000 BC, because pre-2000. 2,000 years ago, so that's 0, isn't it? So before 6,000 years BC would be, including the 2,000 we're at now, a total of 8,000 years span. So that 8,000 years span, there is in Sumeria, Babylon, Arcadia, and certain other Persia, Iraq, Lebanon. There's lots of megalithic blocks, temples, and stubborn bombed it. It bombed the shit out of it now and destroyed most of it, and it's been robbed. But the cradle of life around Persia, Iraq, the Gulf, Sumeria, Babylon, Arcadia, the Phoenicians, and the Assyrians predate the 2000 Christianity, and they've got similar stories and stories of giants that lived as gods for about 25 to 35,000 years. And then there was a great flood, and then suddenly all of those were gone, and there was a new age in the Bible and Christianity and Jesus. So it's down to interpretation and beliefs, but we operate on facts, and we like facts. So we don't go on hearsay and mythology and like tales and these kind of things. We'll go on facts, and we'll source and reference it and listen to speakers, and we've mentioned them in previous videos. So the forms of Christianity, there are many forms of Christianity, including Roman Catholic, Eastern Orthodox and Protestant churches. Look at Ireland and see the Sinn Féin and everything what happened there with all that, you know, how that got messed up. The Protestant churches have many denominations such as Anglican, Baptist, Methodist, Quaker, Pentecostal and United Reformed churches. They like to keep it simple. African Caribbean churches is another variation of the same. African Caribbean or Black Christian churches are particularly important in Derby. African Caribbean independent churches began in the early 1950s in Derby. They were formed to combat the racism and alienation that Black Christians felt on arrival to Britain. These churches were an important social function for African Caribbean people, reflecting the doctrine, church teachings, and the doctrine, I like that word, and social activities which came from the Black Christian heritage from back home. In Derby, there are approximately 16 African Caribbean Christian churches of various denominations, such as the Church of God of Prophecy, Seventh-day Adventists, and the Pentecostal Church. Yeah, it is around Derby. Family life. Both men and women are given the same rights in terms of religious ceremonies in Christianity. Christian family structure tends to take the form of family units with a strong emphasis on marriage and family life. So, well, I'll not comment on that. Food. There are a few dietary restrictions for Christians. Some Christians associate Friday with fish and impose some restrictions on certain foods during Lent. Lent is the 6 weeks leading up to Easter. And it's got the holy days, Palm Sunday, Maunday, Thursday, Easter, Good Friday, Easter Day, Ascension Day, Christmas Day, and that's it. So because we're at the Easter time and it's a time of reflection and most don't have a religion or a belief system or anything like that, I thought this was quite a poignant time to just take stock, sit back, have a chat, get some brothers together, get YouTube on and get through this and then get your comments. And then next week we'll fire off with the heavy round of a couple of hours and a lot more of us, panel interaction, advertising and get some specialised guys on it. So I'd like Christian, Buddhist, and a Hindu so far, and any other religions and faiths that we've got. I'd like to get someone from each of the faiths to represent, which would be good then to have a proper full debate. The Hinduism history. Hindu religion began over 5,000 years ago in India. It is known as the Satana Dharma, eternal truth in the scriptures. There is no recognized founder. So let me pause. What you're going to hear here is this isn't me saying it's 5,000 or 2,000 or I believe the matrix we're on, the realm that we're in, is over millions and millions and millions of years. So I am confused at why all these books say that they're all only within the realm of 5,000-ish approximately years old, because evidence tells us, you see, that's another massive conflict when you find out about the dinosaurs as a child, and then you have to work out how Adam and Eve and these time periods, and then you look in history when they teach you about the dinosaurs and the megalithic and the Bronze Age and the stone, and then you've then got the conflict in here of we're only doing all this in 5,000 years, and it's not nice to do that to a child, because as an indigo or ADHD, not an indigo at the time, as a wee little shizen kid, I was asking too many questions, and I was just you didn't need to confuse a brain like mine. It already had enough going on. So that 5,000 years ago in India, yeah, that's according to this here and the information he's got. That's open to interpretation, obviously, because we know the Earth is going to be somewhat, older than that. We have evidence of that, for goodness sake. So who are Hindus? They are the fundamental belief of Hinduism that the truth is with all of us. For many Hindus, worship or puja is centered on the home, and the eldest member performs religious and ceremonial rites when all the family gather together. Temple worship is also important on special occasions. In Derby, the Hindu temple Gita Bhawan is on Normanton Road. Well, that's a lively road, isn't it? Wow, you ever been down there, anyone? Give me your comments. You're lucky to get out alive. Hindus worship many gods, but ultimately believe in one God. They believe that the gods and men and women come from one eternal creative force. Their religious aim in life is to be drawn back to the divine origin and to be released from the need to be reborn. So their religious aim in life is to be drawn back to the divine origin and to be released from the need to be reborn. Reincarnation is of central importance, and their belief that behavior in this life decides status in the next life. Various Hindu sects differ in their interpretation of ultimate salvation. Some believe in reabsorption in divinity. Others maintain a distinction between God and individual souls. Their holy books, the Hindu holy books are Vedas. These are excellent. I haven't found many of these, but to look at the Vedas and their interpretation, it ties closely with Buddhism, but not totally. But Vedas is Vedas. The Uprisshad, oh wow, Uprisshad, Uprisshad, Puranas, Ramanyan, Mahabharata, and Gita. Gita, look, here we go.
That's easy for you to say.
Where's the, why it is, isn't it? There. It's 5.3. Let's get the camera here then. 5.3. Yeah. Get some, oh, there we got some focus now. If you get it there, then that's why my finger is. So have a go at saying then when you're drunk. No, 5.5. I'll just work that out where I was. That's the words you want. You see it now. It's backwards, is it? Yeah. Wow. Need to sort my settings out for that to make it go the other way.
No, that reads perfectly, mate.
Did you see it? Yeah.
Yes, mate. No, it reads perfectly. That did, mate.
Yes, and you can just pause it then and get it, can't you?
Yeah.
The castle system. The castle system is the Hindu hierarchy, which divides castle. I like that as well. Which divides into different groups. This system had influence over all aspects of life, especially family matters and marriage. Traditionally, the castle system divided the Hindu population into 4 groups. Brahmin, priestly castle, Kshatriya, the warrior and the ruling castle. I'm sorry if you are a Hindu, I'm trying. That's very trying, my mum said. Vaishya, the castle of farmers, merchants and craftsmen. And Shrudra, the castle of servants, untouchables. There we go, number 9. There you go, they're quite hard to say as well. But we'll have a go, we don't mind. We do Latin, English, Babel, Klingon. There is a lot of misunderstanding in Britain about the castle system.
Mainly Babel.
There was a time when each castle was exclusive to one another and intermarriage was strongly discouraged. Nowadays, the strict castle system has been gradually relaxed. Many Hindus regard the castle system as a traditional code rather than a way of determining social position. Greeting, namaste, I greet you respectfully. Dress and appearance. Namaste, I've used that many times. Dress and appearance. Traditionally, many Hindu women wear saris, which they are still very popular among Indian women. They may also wear shalwar, loose trousers, and kameez, a tunic. Some younger women in particular regularly wear Western clothes. Married women may wear a bindi, a red powder spot on their forehead or in the parting of their hair just above the forehead. The bindi is also worn as a fashion accessory by women around the world. Hindus should be modest about their bodies and dress with respect and dignity. Hindu men usually wear Western clothing. And at that point, I'd like to say, so when we see what's going out on a Friday and Saturday night in clubs, in towns, in pubs, watching boxing matches, etc., we don't see that the ladies and the men in the West dressed respectfully. You know, we're seeing that the morals and the standards are slipping, but I'm not saying we need religion to control morals and standards. These come from the home life, they come from the mums, from the dads, from the environment, the offspring, the property are surrounded with their environment. But when they're surrounded with MTV and they're not going to any kind of religious practices or spiritual practices, they have no moral ethos, any kind of code. The TV's programming them. They're listening to music from Radio 1, which has just got sex, drugs, and dancing in front of guys and all this kind of stuff. Then where is the moral fibre gone? Who has got any kind of role modelship for the younger generation? Who do they look up to? Singers, artists, sports stars, and all the wrong type of environment. So with regards to being modest and respectful, that's an area that I've definitely seen a decline in. I'm not saying that's due to a lack of a fall in Christianity or anything to do with anybody else, other than we in this, as we are seeing, there is a big deficit in the way things used to be, in the way things are turning out to be, isn't there? And we're in that change right now. Hindu food, Hindu religious philosophy, eating meat is strongly forbidden, particularly beef, because the cow is a sacred animal. Most Hindus will not eat fish, eggs, or food containing eggs. There is also great emphasis on personal hygiene and methods of cooking and eating food. Although many Hindus are strictly vegetarian, some have adopted Western customs of eating meat. Drinking alcohol and smoking are religiously and socially disapproved of. Names. Hindu names usually consist of a personal name, middle name, and a family or castle name, or caste name, sorry. For example, Vijay Kumar Sharma is a typical Hindu man's name, and Meena Kumari Chopra for a woman. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 then, yeah, so they're saying they've got a personal name, a middle name, and a family name, similar to our way of looking at it then. Traditionally, women were seen as the homemakers. They looked after the home and the family, and the man shouldered the financial responsibility. Seems similar. However, these days it is common for both partners to work and share the home responsibilities. The Hindu place of worship is called the mandir, temple. Shoes are not worn. The head should be covered, but this is not essential. And they have holy days and festivals such as Raksha Bandham or Rakhi. That's in August, celebrating the bond between brother and sister. Dussehra in October, and commemorates the time when Lord Rama fought with King Ravana and was victorious. Celebrations are over 10 days. That's the Ray party, and the story of Ramanya is acted out in plays. On the 10th day, an image of King Ravana is burned. Durga Puja is in October and involves 4 days of worship, after which images of the warrior goddess Durga are immersed in the lakes and rivers. Diwali, I know about this one, is a nice one. This one is in October or November. The date is based on the lunar calendar and is not fixed. It is the festival of lights and commemorates Lord Rama's return from banishment to his kingdom of Ayodhya. Colourful lights and candles known as divas are displayed around homes and temples. Families and friends visit each other and exchange gifts and sweets. There are also firework displays. It's amazing that. Yeah. If you've ever seen a Diwali or you know anybody that's got videos of it, they are fantastic. Yeah. It reminds. Well, no, I'll carry on. Holi is in March and the festival of colour. People celebrate this festival by singing, dancing, and throwing coloured powder and water over each other. Have you ever seen that on TV?
Yeah, they all cover all the streets are covered in powder paint and everything like that, you know. So it seems to me while we're listening through there, what we need to do is take the good times from each religion, manifest them all into the whole year round, and live life like that, because that's how we should be, free and happy and having a nice time all the time. So that's why I feel I can't be of just one religion. I'd like to be a mixture of all of them, just with good intent, so we can all live happily free as one, also together as one. So yeah, I like the sounds of all of them things. I don't know why you'd have to be one set name or one set cult or one set name for that society or whatever you wish to call that following, that gathering. You know, why we'd all have to go to separate buildings of a Sunday and point in a separate direction, whereas really on a Sunday we all ought to be coming together, having a very nice time, and puts all those sorts of things aside in our common unity and come together as one. But that's just my own, ideology.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a very good point. It's a controlling system and it's distracting, isn't it?
So I've just read a comment a minute ago. Matt Braybrook said, "Amazing, Andy," because of the guru I've just put up there, and he teaches. He taught me that, the fear and imposition and disposition and things, that there is a lot of suffering at the moment, and there's a lot of depression at the moment, and the fact that depression comes solely from our past, and we're suffering anxiety, which solely comes from the future. and we're forgetting the now. And it's all those things that I've taken on board, as well as learning the laws of nature, the ecclesiastical, the canon, the acts and statutes, and everything else that comes with it. You know, it's him that's put me on the right track for myself.
Mate. Albert, you still here? He's loving it. Yes, he's in the wing.
He's still there, mate. He's just on quiet because he don't care, mate. He don't think about religious things, mate. He don't give a flying F, mate.
I've got Islam, Rastafarianism, and
I love Rastafari.
Say what, Al?
That's what I mean. I'm a Rastafari as well.
Islam history. Islam began in the 6th century AD in Arabica. It's a coffee. Arabia. Islam is an Arabic word meaning surrender. This means to accept the power of Allah and to follow his commands that he revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. PBUH. Ah, yes, you say PBUH when you say peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. Islam is not only a religion, but a complete way of life. Pardon me. This means that it shows how to live all aspects of life in the best possible way. Who are Muslims? Someone who believes in Islam is a Muslim. Muslims believe that Islam teaches the true and successful way of life for the whole human race. Islam is a way of life governing religious practice and morality, but also social relationships, marriage, divorce, kinship, economic and political relations among Muslims. The Holy Book. The Quran is a sacred book for all Muslims. It is the word of Allah, Allah being the Arabic name for God, which was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, PBUH. It contains all the basic principles of the religion of Islam. It prescribes details of belief, the duties which are compulsory for Muslims to perform, and a code of conduct which Muslims must follow. The 5 pillars of Islam. There are 5 requirements for Muslims which are called the 5 pillars of Islam. These are Kalma, the declaration of faith that there is only one Allah or God and Muhammad, PBUH, is his prophet. Salah, 5 daily prayers at appointed times facing Mecca. Namaz, the act of prayer is performed before sunrise, noon, mid or late afternoon, evening and night. It can be read in congregation, at a mosque or alone at a home. Zakah, the giving of alms or money to the poor. 2.5% a year of a person's accumulated wealth, so they have to give that back to the community. Ramadan, pronounced Ramzan, fasting during the month of Ramzan before sunrise to after sunset. Hajj, making the pilgrimage to Mecca at least once during a lifetime by people who can afford it. Greeting. I cannot write greetings. When I look at this, I can't say it. But Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, yeah. But I can't say, you know, if it'll focus, it'll get it to it more. Yeah, no, let's draw in a bit more. Assalamu alaikum. You see it now, it's not focusing. I'm not touching with a lens because it's too much. Dress and appearance. Islam required Muslims to dress modestly. Traditionally, women should cover their heads by wearing a scarf or hijab, cover their bodies, and avoid direct contact with unrelated men. The traditional dress of Pakistani and Indian Muslim women includes a shalwar or trousers, a kameez or tunic, and a dupatta. However, many Muslim women now dress in Western-style clothing, especially at work. Most men at work wear Western clothes, but may wear a shalwar and kameez out of work. Muslims will eat all meat except pork, food providing that it is halal meat and killed in the Muslim manner. Muslims also avoid food containing non-halal animal fat. Alcohol is also forbidden. The names. Muslim names include one name, such as Muhammad, Farouk, Syed, Tariq for a man, and Fatima, Amina, Shamim for a woman. These religious names could be before or after other names, such as Muhammad Akhtar, Salim Ahmad. For women, Bibi or Begum is usually at the end of a woman's name. All Muslim names have an Islamic meaning. The family The Muslim family is usually an extended one with different relations having different responsibilities. Islam affirms the equality of men and women as human beings, but roles for the sexes are different and free mixing between the two is disapproved of. Economic necessity and the greater availability of education has meant many more women are in paid employment and are in active community life. Birth. After the birth of the Muslim child, the father or Muslim priest or imam will whisper in the child's ear the azan. The Muslim summons to prayer in Arabic. Within 7 days, the baby's head is shaved and a name will be given. Akika, a symbolic thanksgiving or livestock, is observed if the family can observe it. Yeah, is observed. In Islam, every Muslim male child born must be circumcised. This may take place as early as 7 days after birth. It is done for hygienic and religious purposes. Ouch. Marriage is seen in very positive light by Muslims, both because of the teachings of the Quran and the example of the Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, whose life Muslims seek to emulate. Traditionally, marriages are arranged with the constant consent of both partners. Suitability is assessed through a number of criteria such as education, status, and background. The religious ceremony known as nikah may be in the bridegroom's home or in the mosque. The couple must repeat their consent to the marriage 3 times in front of independent witnesses. Oh, that sounds interesting. So that's the nikah must be done in the bridegroom's home or in the mosque, and the couple must repeat their consent to the marriage 3 times. Knocking 3 times. 7 thing is 3 and 7. Anyway, non-Muslims must convert to Islam on marriage to a Muslim. Death. Death is seen as a progression from one stage of life to another, passing into the afterlife until the day of judgment, where individuals will be either given places in heaven or in hell. Everyone will be accountable for their intentions or actions. Wow, that sounds familiar and all, doesn't it? When a Muslim dies, prayers are said either at home or in the mosque. Arrangements are made for washing the body and preparing it for burial. Only a shroud of white cloth is wrapped around the body before burial. The funeral or janazah will be at the mosque and is customary for only men to attend the burial. Muslims are always buried and the body always faces Mecca. Some people take their dead relatives back home to the country origin for burial. Religious buildings, the mosque or masjid is where the people attend for prayers. Usually only men pray at the mosque, with the women praying at home. Shoes are not worn and the head is covered by a topi or hat. This is optional for men and the essential is for women when praying. The holy days and festivals, the Muharram is the Islamic New Year, the Ashura is the first month of the Muslim calendar. Muharram is commemorated for the martyrdom of the grandson of the Prophet by Shia Muslims. The Milad ul-Nabi, commemorating the birth and death of the Prophet Muhammad, PBUH. Ramadan or Ramazan, a month of fasting from sunrise to sunset and performing the namaz Taraweh in congregation at a mosque in the evenings before fasting during the nightly prayers. Apologies for my pronunciation, I do try, guys. Eid al-Fitr. Eid al-Fitr. After the months of fasting, Muslims wear new clothes, feast and visit friends and relatives to celebrate the successful completion of Ramadan. Eid al-Adha, a 3-day festival which marks the end of Hajj. It reminds Muslims of the sacrifice of the Prophet Abraham made for the Prophet Ishmael. What? I've never heard of them before. Rastafarianism. 1 second, I need some liquids. It'll literally be a second, boys. Have a chat. 1 minute. So, literally water.
It does this to me all the time, Maui. There's no pre-warning, nothing. It's just up and off, and I'm here beating the drum on my own, trying to keep things smooth and running like this is all meant to be and scripted. And God Almighty,
Not good, is it?
Mate, it's like, I know, mate. Let's just do a test piece for half an hour. My missus is going berserk. I'm an hour past in the time and whatnot, and we're going through it. Here we go. Back in the room. Back in the room.
You can go, boys. You can all opt out and leave whenever you want, Dawn. He doesn't need to stay on. I'm not taking liability or responsibility.
You're only saying that because I'm wearing these. She can't hear your ass.
Playback. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you can get off whenever you want. But I'm not going to go fast now because you put me on the spot. I'm trying to be controlled, and it's important. This it's a holiday, you know, seasonal type. You know, I thought this would be poignant for us to get out and show that we're trying. There's nothing about Semitism in here or anti-Semitism. We're going to do that. We'll cover that when I get all the material regarding the Talmud and the Torah. That's been left out on purpose. All right, boys. But number 7, Rastafarianism. History. The religion originated in Jamaica in the 1930s, led by Marcus Garvey. The religion is based on 2 doctrines. These are the belief that Haile Selassie, the late emperor, is the black reincarnated Christ, the goal of redemption through repatriation to Ethiopia, that Ethiopia is a spiritual home of all black people. The 12 tribes of Israel, Ethiopian Orthodox Church, Ethiopian World Federation, which is EWF. Holy Book. The Rastafarian Holy Book is the Bible, especially the Old Testament and the Book of Revelation in the New Testament. Greeting. The term I and I is used as a form of greeting and to stress unity. I is happy. I is, you know, I is Ali G. Dress and appearance. Rastafaris will sometimes wear the colours of the Ethiopian flag, red, gold, green and black, as Ethiopia is seen as their promised land. The colours of the Ethiopian flag have specific meanings. Red, the bloodshed in the Rastafarian historical struggle. Gold, faith, prosperity and sunshine. Green, the land of Ethiopia. Black, the colour of the people. Thought green was going to be something else then, but no. Both men and women, Rastafarians normally wear their hair in dreadlocks. Dreadlocks are symbolic of a lion's mane and also the Maasai warriors of Ethiopia. When visiting places of worship, men usually keep their heads covered with a tam, knitted leather or cloth crown. Women also wear a wrap or tam covering their hair. Cloth crown, eh? Food. Most Rastafarians are vegetarians and have ital food, ITAL, which is natural and cooked without salt. Rastafarians do not drink alcohol, tea or coffee. Smoking is permitted, especially the smoking of cannabis. Cannabis is believed to enhance wisdom and facilitate meditation and prayer. Remember, this is advisory to the Derby City Council. Religious buildings. Rastafarians do not have a name for their place of worship. However, people congregate in houses or community halls to worship. However, some Rastafarians groups have bought buildings for worship. Holy days and festivals. The birthday of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I is on 23rd of July. The day is celebrated by congregational prayer and chanting, usually to the rhythm of drumming. Ethiopian New Year's Day is on 11th of September and Ethiopian Christmas falls on the 7th of Jan. Sikhism. History. The Sikh religion there weren't much there for Rastafarian, was there, compared to the others, but it's quite a basic, simple religion there, you know. It's just like, you know, tight and compact. Sikhism. The Sikh religion is about 500 years old. It was founded by Guru Nanak Devaji in the Punjab, which now forms part of Pakistan. The first guru was followed by 9 successors, all called gurus. The last human guru, Gobind Singh, died in 1708. So no Sikhism developed by a continuous evolutionary process over about 200 years. And so Sikhism developed by a Sikh is someone who believes in one God and in the teachings of the 10 gurus and the Guru Garam Sahib Holy Book. Sikhs who practice the faith must wear Panj Kake, the 5 Ks. The 5 Ks of Sikhism are Kesh, uncut hair. For Sikh men, hair must not be cut and must be covered by a turban or scarf. Kanga, or comb, to keep the hair clean and tidy. Kara, or steel wristlet. Kirpan, a small sword for self-protection and to protect those who cannot protect themselves. So in a Sikh religion, they're allowed to carry a small sword, but it must be on the outside. They can do that in England. They can walk around. It doesn't say that here. It's not advisory to the council, but they can actually, if they can prove it, and you know, it's part of their this part of the 5Ks of Sikhism. They can walk around the streets of Anglo, England or the United Kingdom as a commerciant, and they can have the sword out and show it. It's part of the religion. That's where cloak and dagger comes from as well. It was honourable to show the sword or your weapon and the gun or the pistol. You had a pistol inside your coat and you're acting like 10 men, and I have a look and I can't see your gun or your sword. I'm going to step to you and game's on. Next thing you go like that and shoot me. I'm like, what? That weren't fair. You see, in honour, yeah, it's a belief system which we're losing. Kachira, a special undergarment like shorts. Holy book. The Sikh holy book is the Guru Granth Sahib, originally called the Adi Granth, which is a collection of hymns by the Sikh gurus, as well as the Muslim and Hindu saints. Guidance is sought by opening the holy book at random and reading verses. Greetings, Sat Shri Akal. God is truth and eternal. Oh, I can't say that. Wangaruru Ji Kasa Kahalsa Wahiguru Ji Ki Fata. This means Khalsa belongs to Guru Yi and victory belongs to Guru Yi. Dress and appearance. Some Sikhs dress according to the rules of the 5Ks. Traditionally, many Sikh men wear a turban, and Sikh women either sari or shalwar or loose trousers, kameez or tunic and chador and long and wide scarf. Sikh women do not wear a veil. However, many Sikh men and women have adopted a Western dress code. We're nearly at the end, boys. Food. Many Sikhs are vegetarians. Those who are not prohibited from eating halal meat. For Orthodox Sikhs, intoxicants, including alcohol and smoking, are strictly forbidden. Names. All Sikh names include a personal name, a middle name, Singh, which means a lion for men. That's why I say Singh is king, FYI. King of the jungle, king of the thingy. It's a little bit between me and our Surge there. Or Kaur, which means princess for women. And a family name, for example, Joginder Singh Dhillon for a man's name and Kulwinder Kaur Basi for a woman. Sikhs' first names are unisex. These Sikh titles are broadly equivalent to Mr., Mrs. and Miss. Siddhar is Mr., Siddhani is Mrs. and Bibi is Miss. Family. Sikhism accepts the equality and brotherhood of man and gives women and men equal status and rights. The extended family structure can also be observed in some cases, although it is not as common in Britain. However, family members live close to one another. When a Sikh child is born, the first words they should hear are those of the Mool Mantar, the beginning of the Sikh holy book, which are whispered into the baby's ear. A few weeks later, the child is taken to the Gurdwara, the Sikh place of worship, where Amrit, a mixture of water and sugar blessed by hymns, may be sprinkled on the baby. The child's name is chosen at the time by opening the Guru Granth Sahib at random and taking the first letter of the hymn from the beginning of the name. The first letter having been decided, the family choose the rest of the name. Oh, wow. Marriage. Marriage is seen as bringing together two families as well as the close relationship of a man and woman. A Sikh wedding may be held anywhere as long as the Guru Granth Sahib is present. During the ceremony, the couple are joined by a cloth or scarf and they proceed to walk round the Guru Granth Sahib 4 times. The couple show their consent to the marriage by bowing to the Guru Granth Sahib. The traditional system of arranged marriages has declined in today's modern educated society. Schooled society, will change that, I'll redact that to schooled society. Although partnerships are arranged, women and men have begun to have a definite say in the choice of partner and allowed to meet before marriage. So it's not all the end of the world, yeah. Deaths. When a Sikh is dying, friends and relatives will gather at the bedside and recite hymns from the Guru Granth. After death, the body is washed and dressed in new clothes and taken for cremation. The son or a close relative starts the cremation and their ashes are scattered on running water. A religious ceremony is usually held following the funeral to aid the departure of the soul. Religious buildings. The Sikh place of worship is called the Gurdwara and the door of the Guru. Shoes are removed at the entrance and heads should be covered in the Gurdwara. Holy days and festivals. Vaishika is New Year's Day in the Punjab and falls on the 13th of April. The date is based on the solar calendar and is fixed. It celebrates the founding of the Khalsa and the Sikh Brotherhood. It coincides with the harvest festival. Diwali, or Band Chor Diwas, is a festival of lights. Sikhs celebrate Diwali to commemorate the self-sacrifice of Hawa Govind against Mughal rule, which is held at the start of winter. Guru Nanak's birthday. This is the anniversary of the birth of the first Guru, the founder of the faith. The day usually falls in November. Holy Hola Mahola is a 3-day festival held in spring, usually a display of physical strength and martial arts activities. Finished. Done. See you later. Bye.
Hey, nice one, lad.
All right, that weren't it? Did you like that, boys?
Mm-hmm.
The Monday, Sunday session.
Was
There you
that
go.
like a guide to the councils for like religious beliefs of everyone, how they should look at it in general?
It was a proposal. It wasn't the I don't know, the manifesto, the mandate, or whatever that they've taken. This was given to help them decide on how to. It was given by. I'm not going to go too much into it, but I've said the guy's name, Arshad Rafiq, is the guy that talked to me about this, and they operate in the community, and they got in touch with the Derby Council for something, and then they said we can perhaps help you guys. You seem to be quite ignorant. You're like they're ignorant of our rights. You can imagine the other side of the coin where we don't get the law respected, they don't get their culture or the law respected, so they're doubly up against it. So he's like, here, Max, you want, have a go on this, and this will help you. Pass it on to the top man. I'll give you this and this, and then you can then. So he didn't just do it for Islam Muslims; he did it for everybody to say, come on, guys. The government should have these kind of things already in place. So he was struggling with Derby Council, and he gave them that. Yeah.
We're equal in the eyes of the law, and we're equal in the eyes of God. Whomever your God is, and whatever the law shall be, we all shall come as equal. Whether you're under Sharia law, common law, maritime law, whatever law you wish to be under, if you haven't got your correct capacity and status.
Oh yeah, I was going to say the issues that we've got in a minute with anti-Semitic comments and Labour and thingy closing down his Twitter account and Facebook and all this is getting out of control. So what I'm seeing here is like Gary or Barry Monroe, Gary Monroe and a few others that aren't in touch that have stepped out for the time being. They was highly concerned with Palestine, Israel, the Jews, the anti-Semitic, claims that the media was trying to make upon us, but there is nothing like that going on. It's very confusing. It's taken me a while to get my head around the Torah and the Talmud. The Torah is equivalent to the Bible in ways, and there's nothing wrong with that. The Talmud, Talmud, you need to extensively research and see what's going on there, because that's not good. If that is at the base root of the moral code of the religion, then that Talmud is quite disturbing, to say the least. It talks about Jews and Gentiles and superiority and children and non-Gentiles, and that's all I'll say, because I don't want to get into it, but we will next week.
Okay.
Serious. The Vedics are good that I've mentioned, that VEDICS, that's worthy of looking at as well. That's unbelievable. Go on, Andy.
Well, there are certain belief systems and religions that they are taught and indoctrinated that they are the chosen one. And if we was all taught and indoctrinated the same, there wouldn't be these type of differentials in the belief, because we are just all as equally as important as one another. We might not have equally the same strength either inside nor outside, but as one, we cover everything. We don't need to be divided.
I'm going to look for the YouTube comments next. So, Albert, have you got anything you want to add or say or interpret or kick back?
I'm all right. Yeah.
He kills me. Drier than a nun's boot.
No, I think you just covered it, Andy. Really.
Oh, sorry, brother. I'll get bloody told off David for that as well.
No, it's cool.
My interpretation of stuff, I don't know. And here's me just thinking I'm just idiot babbling on layman style, not making much sense, only other than to myself. And even then, I question myself.
Hey. Jesus Jones, in other words, would you press? Oh, we've done that. I'm having flashbacks. We covered that. David De Jour says hello. Ricky Smith, Axis Mundi. I don't know what that says, what that means, but that's Latin, I believe. Yeah, I can see it's Latin, but I paid the Pope my subscription. I want my money back from Jesus. Dr. Dawson, sorry guys, I have that many Google accounts because of interference with Microsoft. Sorted out Hangouts and be with you next time. Have a good chat live, free from this system of corruption. David De Jour says, I pity God when Stephen Hawkins turns up, it. Oh, what a mess the universe is in, and proves it. Jesus Jones, God will just switch Stephen Hawkins off and push him out the way. Blu-ray Soul, hey up. Dr. Dawson, letters are just trickery of words which are legalese jargon, which are not for the man or woman. David De Jour, in the legal system and circles, the nod to dictionaries is given when you hear the expression tucked away in their language and text. The word lexicon, Lexicon. And anyone suffering from depression should watch Sadhguru. Yeah, that's what Blu-ray's saying. Docker, sorry David, just rung to check it was working for the next time. It's all right, Docker, no worries, brother. It's I had ringing in my ears and I thought it was well set up, so it is a learning curve. We will improve and it will be professional one day. The truth, who's that? I know who that is now then. That's Steve-O, isn't it? Soul
Yeah, we've got him, mate. Listen, we'll always be layman, never professional.
Well, yeah, we just try to have a bit more smooth, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
It does say pro in the website. It says splspro.com.
We'll look for more smoothness on our currency. We'll try and iron out the rapids.
Look, Pondis has got some comments from Veda's images. His bodiless and pure Yaya Veda, so he knows about the Vedas. I need some reference, look, Pondis, please, about Vedas. If you can put some on here now, I would really appreciate that, because I've only got a little bit of
right, hang fire. I'm going to go and just disperse myself to the dominion of my leader, and I'm going to go and use a few of her appliances and make myself a bit of snap. I'll be 5 minutes, otherwise I'm going to end up
we're going to read these and then we're going to finish, so there's about 5 more comments and we're done.
Okay. Well, I'm really sorry.
actually hungry. Yeah.
I feel a bit rude and everything, peoples, but it's been amazing and emotional, very touching, and everything like that. But I'm going to go and feed my body. So, Al, nice to see you. So we'll catch up. Now you've got the facility, we can catch up privately, and we'll go through what you're going through, and we'll do it together. So, big respect to you there, brother. Thanks everybody else for watching, and we'll speak soon. Okay. Thank you.
Ciao, Bello. Come on, lad. Right then, Albert, you're still here. All right, let's go through the rest of these. The truth will free, brother. Look upon this, they enter the darkness. Those who worship the natural elements, air, water, fire, they sink deeper into darkness. Those who worship Sambhuti, idols, Yaveda. See, deep stuff that. The truth has left the chat room. Look upon this, exactly, Andy. Andy W, get on with it. Anti-Theist, welcome here. Anti-Theist, everyone's welcome here. TFA, Trans Funky Amp, Aimbush. Why Guru, that's it. John Middleton, where the moon come from? Where the moon come from? I don't know, John. We're still looking into that. The moon came from another part of the universe, apparently. This message is held for review. Show or hide. What are we doing there? I'm gonna leave it. Look upon this. Torah is Old Testament. Yeah. Talmud and Torah. Torah is, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Talmud and Islamic Hadith are similar. Oh, nice one. Thank you for that. So we ran over. That was good though. It was a slow start, but we got in there. Some kind of I don't know. It's a Christian, nation that we've got. We've got the holidays going off in a minute, and I thought for those that aren't in a religion or particular religion, or a bit confused or aren't Christian, I wanted to hear other religions or about the Christian religion, or that are Christian that don't know about others. I thought we'll do this little test and link up and cover all this, Albert, and then it'll prepare us for next week when we get into the hardcore, real nitty gritty stuff. Like we get some hours into it. All right. You're on mute. You're muted, brother. I'll mute your mic and then we'll say goodbye. Ciao for now. Thank you, YouTube, for all your comments and your input, everything like that. As again, it's been fun. We've had some laughs. We've covered the important stuff. And yeah, we're going to get off, get food, and I'll catch up with everything else. See to the little chicken here. And we'll say peace and love, Albert, YouTube viewers, SPLs. We'll call it a day. Namaste. All right, brother. Thank you for joining us. It's been fun. Let's go.
All right. Sorry, I won't much help, like, you know. But
No,
you
you're
was
right.
taking the lead.
Taking part, that's it, to get you on, get a feel of it, you know what I mean? It can be a little bit daunting, it's a bit weird, the technology and how you get on with it and getting the familiar feel for the layout and everything. So, yeah, we'll carry on doing this. We'll get some more guys on, we'll get a little group together and see about United Kingdom Anglo chats that we can have, English law, Anglo law, public statutory guidelines, and then we'll go international as well and look at America, Australia. Yesterday I went from talking to Andy and Dave show in SPL's Facebook to speaking to somebody straight away in New Zealand after we collected Anne-Marie for an hour on Skype or Hangouts, and then after the New Zealand chat I was talking to the guy that said he was the legal owner of the Walt Disney Club. I'm not going to mention his name on Facebook, but he came into Andy and Dave and he was in Los Angeles. So within 2 hours, I've gone from England chatting to New Zealand to Los Angeles. It's amazing what we can do.
Yeah. I missed that. I basically jumped on and started watching it back and whatever, and I see what unfolded. Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah.
So there's lots going on. We've got the website to finish off, the trust to declare and sort out the paperwork, trustee. So this next week we're going to be busy. I know it's bank holiday Monday today, so I wanted just to test this out while there's a few of us kicking around, buddy. So
yeah.
So ciao for now. Peace and love.
Yeah.
Namaste.
Have
Goodbye.
a good one, mate.
Farewell.
Okay. See ya.
All right, brother. See you later, YouTube. Thank you all.